Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Huh? So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Your favorite podcast, it's Critical Blast.
Hi, this is Tim TK, host of That Silverline Show on Tuesday. Join us at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday night as we discuss pop culture and the joys of making comics.
And I'm Scott Wakefield, host of Silverline's Wednesday Wham, where we talk about comic books and all kinds of great storytelling, sometimes with incredible guests. And we want you to join us Wednesday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you there.
I'm Roland Mann, and I host Silverline's Silver Sunday. Join me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern as we make mine Silverline.
Do the intro again. We need the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Silverline Wednesday Night Wham! Hosted by Scott Wakefield!
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. And remix. This is a great start to our Wednesday, folks. If you've caught version 1, version 2 of this, we're starting late. We'll figure it out. We're all a bunch of professionals here, and we're going to keep it professional all night. And I was going to tease the topic, but
Let's in the morning.
Let's just go for it. Tonight we're going to talk about romance in comics in honor of St. Valentine and his day that is coming up this weekend. And as usual, we will stay right on topic. So that will be exclusively what we talk about. And that is a lie. We will probably go all over the place. So hold on and be ready for the ride. We are going to talk about all things comic books and pop culture and who knows what. And if it didn't get mentioned the first time or didn't make it to the live stream, this show is brought to you by Daytona Beach Comic Con. And we thank them for supporting us. So please go support them. And it is our custom on our Silverline streams to introduce ourselves, say what we do for Silverline, say what we do otherwise, artistically, and so forth. And I ask the folks to say where we are geographically because I think that is interesting. And how about I'll start? My name is Scott Wakefield. I'm the co-writer and co-creator of an upcoming Silverline title called Steam Patriots. And with my buddy Rory down there, I'll let him say hello in just a minute. I also help out with publicity for Silverline. So if you have a show out there, a podcast, or you do reviews, we would love any team ups we could do. Back scratching is always good for especially us independents. We'd like to get our name out there, and we'll get your name out there as well. So let us know if you've got a project going on, or you can spread the word or review any of our titles. Presently, we don't have any Kickstarter campaigns going right now. One just ended. So folks, if you supported that, thank you. And if you have not filled out your surveys, please do that because Roland will send 2 goons to your door to get that information.
No, just me.
Or just one goon named Tommy. And he'll knock on your door and he'll already know your address. I don't know why he'll need to go to your address to find it out. But so fill those out, get your rewards, get your comic books, and then everybody else, go over to silverlinecomics.com and you can click on the links and order all of our titles, except for the 2 newest, but those will be up there soon. We also have a store on Zazzle. Go check out swag. You can get t-shirts and mugs and all the cool Silverline gear and support your favorite comic book publisher that is Silverline. All right, I've talked too much already. Hopefully that's not the trend for the evening. Why don't I jump to the bottom of my screen? Oh, he just put food in his mouth. I'll go to Rory. Rory, say hello.
Hello, I'm Rory Boyle, co-creator of Steam Patriots, along with our esteemed fastidious. You're retired. It's fastidious. Scott Wakefield. You can find us everywhere. Steam Patriots is at the Gram and the book.
That's where we are. Oh, I'm sorry. I am in beautiful Western New York, and Rory, you are in lovely and sunny
Northern Florida, Jacksonville, for at least another 2 weeks.
Getting there. All
Yeah.
right. All right. And Mr. John Medic.
I saw Tommy's and I couldn't help it. I had to do it.
Oh no, I'm changing mine. That ain't right. That's not right. Wow.
Throwing barbs. All right, John, you're next, and then we'll go up to see Michael Haley, then Brent. Go for it, John. Hello.
Hey everybody, John Medic, writer, creator of the infamous Sniper and Rook book, which should be back out in 2021. Got a lot of excellent guest cover artists, got a lot of awesome artists I'm talking to and getting stuff working on. Big friend and fan of the incredibly tall Tommy Fliramonte, so that is good. I'll have to change my name on that in a second. And editor at Silverline, although I need to get back to a title to edit. So there we go.
If
And
you don't-
resident PowerPoint guy and resident, what else am I?
just lovable lummox.
President. I resemble that remark. Yes. I agree with
Resident
that.
Scrappy Doo.
Oh no, no.
Oh my God, Tommy was
No.
talking to me the next day. He's like, "How's your throat?" I'm like, "That was a blast. That was awesome."
That was fun.
Folks, if you want to watch last week's show and be like, go on some sort of like mind trip and wonder what's going on, go ahead and watch the show. Just be ready. Brace yourself. It's something. It's something. Okay.
It pairs well with a vodka Red Bull.
Yeah. Yes. You may have a nip. Something before you get into that. See Michael, then Haley. Go for it.
All right, I'm C. Michael Lanning, coming to you from Louisiana, where if you look in the mirror and say my name 5 times fast, I'll appear. Sometimes with pizza. I'm the penciler on the Rejects, and I actually have a Kickstarter coming up Sunday that launches on the Day of Love. It's a 6-page story in the Terraform Continuum. I want to say compendium, but it's continuum. So look for that. I'm also a co-anchor on Week Ended and Comics Breakfast Brunch on Sundays. Or
My goodness.
comic book brunch on Sundays.
You are a
Wait,
man
is
about
it-
town.
Is it C. Michael Lanning 5 times fast?
Is it?
Yeah, see Michael Lanning. See Michael Lanning.
I'm about to run to the
Pizza.
bathroom.
In fact,
right
I
now.
need to go to my
If you-
bathroom.
If you put that sexy spin on it, who knows? I might show up with cologne.
Is it C. Michael Lanning or C. Michael Lanning?
It's like a question. See Michael Lanning.
C. Michael Lanning. C. Michael Lanning.
Yeah, watch out.
All right. Now the always talkative Haley, you are next. Then Brent, you're falling up. Poor Haley. We just go for it.
I'm just enjoying it. Listening to all the madness now. So I'm Haley. I am the artist for an upcoming Silverline comic, Bear, or how I've spelled it in my name, something like that. Bear. Yeah, it's like a bear growl.
Get a
of
New
sound.
Yorker
Yeah,
to
something
say
like
it.
that.
Like that.
Whatever. Yeah, and I also have my own webcomic called Heroic Shenanigans that I do, and I am in Florida.
Yeah. John Medic, did you say where you are? Oh,
He's asleep.
he has a bad connection. Looks like he
asleep.
He fell asleep on us.
Sorry, John. We love you. You are frozen in a. Poor John.
Did you say
I got to screen snap that one. Hold on.
That's going to the clips.
John's sleeping. All right, Brent, you're next, and Tommy.
Right. My name is Brent Larson. I'm the writer and creator of the Silverline book, Kalis, which is actually I'm now lurking, and I'm also looking at
LARPing.
the inks for page 14. So we
cool.
are what is that? 2/3 of the way through. So awesome. A page
Excellent.
issue 4. So that's great. I'm also the writer and creator of the upcoming Silverline book, Cape Town, and we are underway on that as well. I've seen roughs for the first 8 pages, and they look pretty awesome. So
Cool.
I'm in Orlando, and You know, if you say my name 5 times in a mirror, then you should probably get checked out.
All right, thank you, Tommy.
My name is Thomas Flormonti. I've been a comic creator since early 90s. I've worked for pretty much everybody at one point or the other during that time. Mostly inking, but I have been doing some penciling and some coloring and writing. And currently, I am inking the Silverline team-up book featuring Champion and Miss Fury.
Hey.
Yeah, I got it. I think I got it.
Oh.
And I'm also I'm trying to get a few pages of this done so we can get the colors going on it. But then I'm going to start inking a little bit on the Rejects book that Mr. C. Michael was talking about. And also, whenever we get back to the Trumps book, we'll finish that up. And I'm supposed to be working on something with Dean that we'll announce at some point, Dean Zachary. So that's another little project that we got working on. I'm also co-owner of the comic book printing company Kablam, the #1 comic book printing company in the world. World. That's the echo that was built into the system there. But and I am currently located on the sofa in my house. I'm in Orlando.
Oh,
in
all
Orlando.
right.
Yeah.
Hey, and before
Sunny Orlando, 83 degrees today, I think it was.
shave
His
off
sofa's its own state.
80 degrees, and you got what we have about now. So, yeah.
It's a little warm today. It shouldn't be this warm. I like it when it after Christmas for it to get warm, but this is too warm. This is supposed to be February.
How,
and it's still
how
supposed to be a
quickly
little
that
chilly.
changed. Wait, let's back up to the last stream where it's like, oh, it's so cold.
It's so cold. It's
Oh,
freezing.
so
Yeah, it was
50
80.
degrees.
Golly.
It's like 80 degrees. Oh,
I
this
was
is
going to
hot.
go swimming today, but I decided not to.
Well, yes, it was a balmy 22 here today. And
What?
It's
Move.
I would
down
rather
to
have
the
that.
move.
I would rather have that.
yeah, it's gonna get
No.
down in the single digits. They said tonight. So yeah, it's good.
Negatives. I welcome
Doesn't it freeze at some point down when it gets that cold?
Yeah,
Zip,
under
zip.
30, 32, it will start everything. will freeze.
32? What? What's that? I don't get it. That's cold.
You see,
No.
all right.
No,
You
no one
can't
told
make
Tommy
channel
about
with that.
Celsius.
Yeah.
Oh, Celsius, Fahrenheit. I don't know.
Kelvin,
Before I
what?
forget, Tommy's been talking about titles coming up. Brent's talking about titles coming up. I don't know if that's where you guys are on my screen, but on your screens.
I don't know who you're pointing at.
Tommy's over here on my screen.
You're down there.
so
Oh,
for the-
wait a
You're
minute.
pointing
My-
out into space.
My
those
video's
of you
backwards. Why is my
out
video
there,
backwards? That ain't right.
watching, that's one of the cool things about watching our shows is you get to see the inside stuff, the inside behind the scenes little bits of creation things coming along. It's really cool. So you get to see our comic books as they progress. It's an awesome inside peek at what we got. Yeah, that's just a glowing.
Whoa,
Yeah, you can't see nothing.
Completely
It's
blown
a
up.
ghost.
Incredible.
It's John.
Wait a minute, that's just an ad for Best Buy.
Who's it? You're in their pocket, Tommy. You're getting paid. Okay, and this is taking. Oh, guys. Tim, wrap it up.
I am Tim TK, writer / creator of Wolf Hunter and associate editor.
Sizzling wolf.
Sizzling. Well, I am the Sizzling Wolf,
that's the
exclusively for this weekend.
Cool.
And I'm also the associate editor at Silverline, where I help with our online blog content as well as the craft series. I'm also the producer / seducer of our Wednesday night show.
Ooh.
And
It's a Valentine's thing. I see where you're going.
It
I
is,
throw in
yeah.
some money that way.
Yeah, Rory is in fact a subscriber to my OnlyFans, and I will be producing the Sunday show this week as well.
I prefer you call me Shore Daddy.
And a real inside baseball for comic followers. I have 3 pitches floating, so that's a writer's life. And I'm in Oregon, where we're looking forward to 6 inches of snow this weekend.
Yeah. All right.
Wow. Snow.
Very nice.
What
Love the
weird.
snow. So since we got, thank you all of you, since we got started very late, probably a little past the midway mark, past 10, we will have a review from Wayne Hall. So stay tuned for that. Thank you, Wayne, for providing those. And we got some guys, some sleepyheads on our show that like to cut out early. Yeah. And so I want to give extra time because I know Brent has a lot to talk about with tonight's topic. And full disclosure, I have no idea how to lead this conversation tonight. We are talking romance in comics. And
I think Tommy's already got it.
I know one.
The nap time. So why don't we start with just, we don't have to go into the weeds too far, but we'll talk about the ongoing romances that are in well-known titles.
Or just X-Men. That would take it.
Well, if we start talking X-Men, then Tim will not stop.
I'm just going to, hi.
Oh,
Welcome
okay.
to my life.
So, X-Men, the romance.
Just dive in.
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Yeah, go for it.
The most interesting and hottest one that we know of coming from the X-Men is, of course, everyone knows Kitty Pryde and Colossus.
What?
Oh yeah, actually.
At least that's the longest lasting one.
It's the longest lasting one. Also, I feel like it's really underserved because they're too wholesome. We have Scott and his manifold toxic relationships, and then Kitty Pryde and Colossus just want to be there for each other. And then certain demon incursions get in the way, but
Yeah.
you guys remember when Colossus was Satan?
No, I don't think I've read that one. But I'm gonna find it.
Yeah, so the weird demon stone that gives Juggernaut his powers, Colossus got it.
Oh,
I don't remember that. I remember she dated like some what was his name? Wisdom, some British secret agent guy, and we're like, yeah, okay, just get it out of your system, Kitty.
Yeah.
So them Wild Oats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
I mean, go for it, Scott. Do you have a question?
Oh no, I'm gonna pretend to be ignorant here. In the X-Men theatrical adaptation of their lives, we see Cyclops and Jean Grey clearly in love, and there is
I am made of metal, but my heart is pure and white.
I love that you carry that light German accent.
That was good.
Continue from last week.
As I was saying, Wolverine, aka Logan, kind of messes things up just a little in the movie. How true to the comic books is that with Jean Grey and Wolverine?
Yeah, but I mean, it's Hugh Jackman, right?
It's the Age of Apocalypse.
Someone would be in love with him.
I say
Hugh Jackman walks onto the X-Men set, and all the women are like,
and although they're all like they dump
yeah,
whoever they're supposed to.
I guess.
New storyline. They rewrite the story.
I guess. Okay, before we get into that, that effect though that you're talking about, Brent. I just got finished volume 4 of Donny Cat's run of Venom, with Eddie Brock as a anti-hero, leading into the ongoing Keenan Black storylines happening right now. But every time he walks into Keenan Black, it's space god.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's space god. Every time Eddie Brock walks into Avengers Tower, Captain Marvel just immediately starts like thirsting after him, to the point where She-Hulk is just kind of like, no, Carol, stop.
What?
It's great.
My God.
Because it's a romance that could absolutely never happen and make sense, but you want it to because it would not make any sense. But yeah, so Wolverine and Jean Grey, that'd be like pre-Dark Phoenix, and to be honest, my reading of pre-Dark Phoenix is not as in-depth as some others.
Okay.
but it's definitely not as well served since '90s X-Men going forward, like since Lobdell going on.
Right.
Yeah. Wolverine's kind of had some of his own things,
Go.
but they've always been very short-lived and not.
Right.
the main interest is always like, I can love or stab things.
Right. Have you ever had a successful
Love first, stab later. That's what it is.
Yeah. They've made it kind of clear, especially when they did after Schism, that Wolverine's first focus has always been protecting younger mutants or mutants that could not defend themselves.
Yeah. Jubilee.
I mean, that's the whole thing. He essentially adopted Goobly in the the Adamantium era, and
yeah.
You definitely get more focus on Scott's manifold relationships that all end somewhat unceremoniously.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Him and Emma Frost and the whole Death of X thing. Oh my gosh.
Well, Madeline Pryor and the Goblin Queen, right? Isn't that what she was called?
Oh yeah, the Goblin Madeline Pryor, where they have Cable, the mutant who would save the future, and then Jean Grey comes back to life, and Scott's all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
And then
well,
Jean
Brett,
dies again.
how do you feel that they're handling Vision and Wanda's relationship on WandaVision?
Hey, wait. Spoilers.
I'm 2 episodes.
I'm just asking about.
I'm just shush.
Oh
Speak in vagaries.
That's what
All right,
that's what I
I'll
said.
speak vagaries. I was so mad when they were fighting and then Captain America crashes in.
Yes, exactly.
Back to
Oh,
life?
it's in vagaries.
What the heck was that? And then
Not sure what Spider-Man was doing in there either.
Captain America, played by the 1970s.
You said the
Captain
Hulk
America.
wasn't going to be there.
Yeah.
Move
I
from
was
Ring of
I
Brains
was just
cookies.
waiting for her to resurrect Iron Man, but it would be played by a new actor, and then they would just spin off into an entirely new franchise. So, I'll say this: I loved when I think of romance in comics, because I was going to talk about it eventually. I think of the Vision and the Scarlet Witch, because in the '80s, I loved those two characters so much. They were just so great, and they were so great together, and he was a robot, and yet he somehow found this beautiful woman to marry him. And I'm like, I guess that means there's hope for me. And I was only in my teens, so seriously, I was thinking about this all the time. And when John Byrne made the Vision go pale white, I almost quit comics that weekend. It was a long weekend. But so if someone were going to tell me that I would be watching a TV show about the two of them, it still blows my mind a little bit, but I still just love those guys. So the idea that, I almost feel like, the Vision builds himself a family in the comics, a fantastic comic book run, but again, it's not the Scarlet Witch, so of course it's not going to work out. So Wanda, I don't even know who she's dating these days, but it's not going to last.
Well, it gave us Viv. I like Viv, all right.
Yeah, Viv is cool. I like Viv, but she's not Wanda. Yeah, but so I don't know.
You get thumbs up from Brent to the writers and producers of WandaVision who are watching right now. Thank you, Brent.
Yes, thank you for making a great TV show. And the end of that last episode, I was like,
yeah,
whoa, that was one of those great TV moments that I'll remember for a long time. So
I'll say this: before the end of that episode, it was such a well-written episode anyway. Before I was saying that before it even ended, so it was. They're doing it well. They're doing it real well. So,
and to the and I've only seen 3 episodes, but to the naysayers who are like, oh, it's too slow. If you were to make it a movie, this would be the pace. I love it. I love that they're doing it. I love it. And Brent, you said many months ago, so much wisdom comes out of you, and I write it all down. I've got it here in my notes. You bemoaned the binge culture and not waiting to watch the next, having to wait or wait a whole season. I'm with you on that. While it is great to binge, I like doing it with books. Some like great, the whole series is available. Nobody's died, and I mean the author. We've got the whole thing, but to wait the next week or all summer for the next season, yeah, it's good stuff. I've enjoyed the slow progression. It's been great. It's been good.
It's all about the savor.
I've been waiting 10 to 20 years for book 5 of Game of Thrones. That's book 6.
I'm sure it'll happen any day.
Yeah.
I know death was a little beyond Robert Jordan's control.
But that kickstarted Brendan Fraser's career. Or not Brendan Fraser.
Wait a minute, huh? That's new to me.
George of the Jungle.
We wish that would be great.
But he said but Robert Jordan set contingencies in before he passed. And then we're talking about the Wheel of Time series.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, at least there was that.
I've been forgetting.
Martin, who knows? Martin doesn't even know where he's going.
Brandon Sanderson. I've been forgetting names all night, as we learned in the pre-show discussion.
John Medic, what do you think about Brendan Fraser playing Mr. Fantastic?
Is that actually something?
No.
Brendan
I actually
Fraser has
dug
his
his
own
stuff back in the day. I was sad to see him kind of go away. I missed a couple of
He's back.
films.
He's in Doom Patrol.
He's in Doom Patrol.
Oh,
I have not watched Doom Patrol.
It's awesome.
I've heard very good things.
It is awesome, but it is NSFW. Very much so.
That is good to know.
You will get to see a side of Brendan Fraser that most people don't see. So I will warn you about that.
Is that a side I want to see, though?
I mean, it's Brendan Fraser.
Meaning, please tell me not nudity.
We're not talking about like 1990s Brendan Fraser. We're talking about modern day Brendan Fraser.
George of the Jungle.
I did not see that one. That was one I missed on purpose. Yeah.
But no, he plays what's he called? Not Robot Man.
Robot?
Oh yeah. The brass guy.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
Oh man.
Yeah,
It's literally Robot Man.
It's Robot Man, yeah, but I can't
Is it?
remember what
Okay.
his character's name, like his real name is.
Yeah.
Cliff or something like that, I think.
Yes, you are correct. The only Doom Patrol issues I ever read were the ones that Eric Larson drew back in like the 80s. So it's been a while.
The Far Side.
What's that?
I said I love the Far Side.
Yeah, it's a kind of look. I love
Different
Grant
guy.
Morrison's. Grant Morrison's run is tops. I love his run on Doom Patrol.
Huh.
The painting that ate Paris. It's like what? It just, I don't know. That guy was smoking something then. He might be smoking it still. We don't know. But
It's comics, baby.
Yeah.
And
to our
now legal
viewers
in
out
most
there.
states and provinces. So yeah.
For those of you keeping track, those of you taking notes, we just got to Doom Patrol via Brendan Fraser, via Robert Jordan, via WandaVision,
Somehow through WandaVision, yeah.
via romance, which is what we're talking about tonight. Romance in comic books. If you're watching, throw something in the comments about your favorite couple in the comic book world, or maybe your least favorite couple. What you hate, the two you hate being together. Let us know.
So
Emma Frost and Hot Summers.
Yeah,
You know,
honestly, if anyone could keep Scott from going full on like militant warlord, it was Emma, because she
How
was
does that even make okay?
because Emma
I
was
get it.
half.
They did a good job, but still,
they
how
did
does
a
that make sense?
Exactly. She was already halfway there. She's like, no wait, Scott, you're more extreme than I am. Calm down. She's like, I'm a bad guy, Scott. Stop topping me.
I mean, she does. She based. Well, I don't want to ruin it for nobody read all of Death of X, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm currently going through House of X and Powers of X, and the designs.
and the one I'm waiting for, I can't wait till Red X gets his own book. I've been dying for that for years, and
In the chat, Renee says Spider-Man and Mary Jane, and
There you go.
She's also loving WandaVision. See, I'm a fan of Mary Jane, but I will never get over Gwen Stacy. We do not acknowledge the we do not
disgusting stuff that J. Michael Straczynski did.
exactly. We do not
That
acknowledge
makes
that.
me. I will honestly, if I ever see him at a show, I will probably jump his ass.
Are we talking about the Norman Osborn effect?
Yes.
Yeah. I think I've been on a tirade about this one before.
You have.
But we can't leave our viewers without knowing what that's about.
I've been on that for 10 years.
Basically, evil J. Michael Straczynski, the guy who did Babylon 5 and wrote some other comics, decided to write a story arc called Sin's Past, where apparently Gwen Stacy banged the Green Goblin in his office because he was so powerful and mesmerizing, and she got knocked up with twins. That's why she went to Europe and had the twins, came back, was going to tell Peter, and then that's when Goblin offed her. And one of the reasons Goblin offed her, which was one of the worst, what's it called? Retcon, thank you. One of the worst retcons ever, and literally the one that kind of just pushed me away from mainstream comics completely. It was that dreck that I read, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm done. I'm just done.
Was it because Gwen's actions were contrary to her character? Was that what annoyed you the most?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean,
that's it.
Yeah.
And it sure seemed like ridiculous soap opera. I mean, we get leveled that against us all the time, and we're like, no, it's different that Mary Jane died in a plane crash, but was actually taken out by someone else so that she could be resurrected several years down the line so that she and Peter could be together for a couple of months before she's then taken out by Mephisto, who actually wants to ruin their relationship. And so they have to start all over again, and they never got married, but they're going to get married, and they're going to get married one day. I know it's going to happen.
And are they ever going to get the baby back?
Yeah.
Well, and see, none of this stuff really matters anyway, because we're talking Peter Parker, and it's not like he's the real Spider-Man anyway. It's always been Ryan. So, you know.
No.
Whoa.
I will say this, and I have to leave.
That just like get you that mad.
Oh, no.
You like them's fighting words. I'm out of here. Oh no, it's Brett's bedtime. Sorry.
But remember the whole One More Day thing, where basically Marvel decided it was a mistake to have Pete and MJ get married.
Joe Quesada decided.
Yeah. So they had Mephisto come and retcon the whole thing, so they never got married. And I was like, wait, what is happening here? And then they have this tender moment right before everything gets erased. And MJ, I can't even remember. I think it was Pete who was like, no, it's going to be okay. One day we'll find our way back to each other, or something like that. And I remember thinking, that is a lie. They'll never find them. If they do, they'll just get split up again, because their love is not the driving force anymore. It's the executives who don't want them to stay married or don't want them to have anything long term, so that Peter can go and then date other people and be interesting to a certain segment of the population. And that's when I actually dropped Spider-Man for probably like 5 or 6 years. I was so mad. I was like, yeah, they don't want to tell good stories anymore. They just want to try to make some cash. And
by doing that, they drove away readers. It was really not what they wanted.
Yeah. Eventually, I started reading it again, and I'm like, actually, okay, this is pretty good.
What brought you
I
back?
hated myself and Marvel. So thanks, Marvel.
Brent, what brought you back? Like, was there an arc that brought you back?
I'm still there.
I'm
Hello?
here. Am I freezing?
I thought everybody was. What brought me back?
Yeah.
Frankly, I started hearing what Dan Slott was doing, and he is a pretty freaking great comic book writer, especially for licensed stuff. Another romance I love in comics is Reed and Sue, and he's doing such great stuff with Fantastic Four right now.
That's cool.
It's one of my favorite books to read these days.
If I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I was tempted to go back to Spidey. when they did the Superior Spider-Man.
Oh yeah,
Because
yeah.
I thought that concept was pretty darn cool. That was Slott, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
that leads into Spider-Verse, which will make your mind explode in front of your face.
Nice. All
So don't
right.
do that
Kind of
in
like a
front of
gremlin in a microwave.
anyone you like. So,
Yeah, I like the reference.
yeah. But
So would Superior Spider-Man be worth reading? Because I've seen it in trades and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a really great concept. It's basically
I love the concept.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's almost like what would happen if Spider-Man was someone else who didn't have all of Peter's emotional baggage and actually, was halfway smart and wasn't so neurotic. And it was actually pretty smart. But everyone loves Peter Parker and loves the neuroses and loves seeing that guy twist in the wind, which shows that we're really just evil people at heart.
Right.
But
I don't know. There's a lot of people. I saw a lot of lists talking about that person you're talking about was probably a better Spider-Man than Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
So he was superior.
Yeah, exactly.
For a while.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Spider-Man turned me on to Venom's solo stuff. And then I dropped Spider-Man as read Venom because I like the idea of Eddie Brock so much more. The idea he was given a power and then immediately abused the responsibility that came along with it, then actually committed himself to being better. I'm like, oh, he's actually developing.
Yeah. Yeah. That is the thing about Pete. He's always going to come back to the center. So.
And I feel so old right now, Tim, because I remember being a little high school kid when Spider-Man 300 dropped. And I was like, oh, number 300, this is going to be worth something because it's number 300. I better buy 5, And then I was like, oh, yeah, it's not because it's number 300. It's because it's like this new character. Yay. So
that was Venom, right?
Yeah. And he had it was the third McFarlane issue. And he had cameo stuff in the 2 leading up to that.
The only reason that he would come to do Spider-Man was they had to go back to the regular suit because he hated the black suit. So they took the black suit and made it
into
a villain.
Yeah.
That's how bad Tom McFarlane hated that black suit.
Wow. Well, I better run, gentlemen, unfortunately.
Okay. Brent, thank you very much. We will see you next week.
Sounds good.
Have a good night.
Have a good week, everybody.
Later on.
Later.
One of the things before we go on, let me just throw this one out there. The actual beginning of Venom, before even the Spider-Man stuff with McFarlane, when Dave Michelini, if I'm pronouncing his name right, the writer, he was actually writing Web of Spider-Man. And I believe it was Web of Spider-Man 18. I'm pretty sure that's the one where Spider-Man gets pushed in front of a subway train. And his spider sense didn't go off. And he's like, holy crap, what happened? Well, it was Peter. It wasn't Spider-Man. And so the whole idea that there was somebody that pushed him onto the tracks to try to get him hit by a train, and it didn't set off his spider sense, that was actually the first non-on panel, non-on page. But that was supposed to be like the beginning of Eddie Brock and Venom. But that was also Dave's last issue of Web. So he picked it up again when he got to Amazing. And now and knowing's half the battle.
The rest of the
And now you know.
My goodness. Thank you, John.
You're very welcome, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Silverline's Wednesday Night Wham, hosted by Scott Wakefield.
Good evening. This is the second half, the mellower half of our show, where we take you into the evening with our dulcet baritone voices. We are talking something we're very familiar with, all of us here, the lineup, romance.
Love.
In comics.
Exciting and new.
And John has a song for us. He's gonna
I will do my Barry White crooning later. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
The musical hour of our show where we will sing love songs to you out there, all of you who we love dearly. Yes, and that's true. I'm not making this up. We love you. In honor of St. Valentine and his day that is this weekend, we are talking romance in comics. We're talking couples that we love, couples that we loathe. enduring couples that have stood the test of time, the on-again, off-again couples, and perhaps we'll even, if we can stay on track, we'll talk about the actual storytelling and what romance can do to propel the story, or sometimes stop it short. Stop short. That's a Seinfeld reference. Sorry, it was poorly done. And what it does for storytelling, if it works, sometimes it's awful, sometimes it's great. And we'll talk about that. We are brought to you by the Daytona Beach Comic Con. Thank you to those folks, those fine people. And we ask you to go follow their social medias and check on the website for 2021 dates to be determined, like everything is out there. But support them and support your local comic book people, your cons, your writers, your artists. Thank you for being here. We appreciate your support for Silverline. And head over to silverlinecomics.com. Check out all of our titles. Check out our blog posts, our craft posts that are headed up by Mr. Tim TK there. You get to know all of our creatives from every side of the creative process, our writers and our inkers and colorers and all the folks that make comic books. And by being here, watching our shows, the Wednesday show, the Sunday show, you get to see you get the backstage pass to comic book creation. And you're seeing right now, what title are we looking at?
Oh, this is
sorry, I just threw that out there.
Yeah, this is the Champion Miss Fury crossover team up book from Silverline.
And pencils are by, I see the name
by
there.
Mr. Peter Clinton.
Peter
We call him
Clinton.
Mr.
Peter Clinton.
Yeah,
And
he
Tommy,
is from the big over across the pond. He is one of those
got a
funny
funny
talker
accent.
guys.
Funny accent.
Funny talkers. Funny talkers.
So Peter has penciled that. Tommy is inking over that. And if you're out there watching the process, it's pretty cool. Usually you start with rough sketches. Brent mentioned getting some roughs of of his story that's coming up, sometimes called thumbnails. It's a very rudimentary way to lay out the story, kind of storyboarding. And then they'll go into pencils like this. Sometimes pencilers will ink over their own stuff. Sometimes we'll go from one pencil to another inker and then another colorist. And that's all part of the creation. And Tommy's doing this digitally, which is cool. And you get to see the process. It's awesome. So thank you, Tommy. Felt like I was going to say something else. For those of you who supported our Kickstarter campaigns, thank you. And we will have more titles coming soon. We have a hopper full of titles on the way. So your support for Silverline means more great stories along the way, independent stories where we've got great creatives making new stuff, new and interesting stories for you. So thank you to our readers. Okay. We lost a few folks. They need to go to bed. Some of them have to work in the morning or some such nonsense like that. They need sleep. Come on. So thank you to those guys that were on the show. And we are talking romance. We have talked the usual cast of characters, Peter Parker and Mary Jane and Gwen and Colossus and Kitty Pryde, right? Yes. Jubilee and Wolverine, right? No. They're just friends.
Not that way.
They're friends.
Wolverine's more like dad to her.
We've talked about Cyclops and his problems with women.
You guys already covered Psych?
Yeah.
Tim talked about his problems and how he needs to get his
You know,
stuff.
I still feel to this day so bad for Madeline Pryor when when Psych like when they have a baby and she's like, well, you know, you have to make a decision. Is it going to be her or me? And he turns and walks away without saying a word. It's like, dude, you're a jerk. That's your wife with your baby. Oh my
Yeah.
God!
Yeah.
Oh,
He had
yeah.
stuff to do, John. What are you talking
Well,
about?
yeah, Jean Grey, obviously, and he belongs with
Oh,
but
literal stuff to do.
but he's married at that point. You don't cheat. I've taught
With
my kid. There's one thing you never do is cheat. You don't cheat. Scott shouldn't have cheated by running off. It's like if you need a divorce, get a divorce.
especially when you have
Because-
time traveling space baby that'll save the universe.
Yeah, right.
Nathan, yeah.
So
What about Renee's question about
That's the Harley Quinn and Joker.
wait. Before we get, I'm sorry, Renee. I'm sorry, John. Though, John, yes, you are a storyteller. You know how to craft stories.
Yes.
That bit of storytelling has been seared into your memory, right?
Since junior high. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Yep.
as angry as that makes you, that is
Oh,
some
yeah.
deep, that's some deep storytelling. That is some that's
Mhm.
it's unpredictable, right?
Yep.
It is not necessarily contrary to his character because he's
nope.
He's kind of a butthead.
Yep. And then it was precedent. And then I
Yep.
hear later on he hooked up with like White Queen and
Yeah.
a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yep.
He's a player.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he ended up getting with Emma Frost after Jean Grey died.
Yeah.
Well,
Part 3.
Again. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But and that one at the time made more sense as that was leading up to the Genosha genocide and everything. As the X-Men are getting more militant and everyone is getting more hardline. And Emma Frost being, see, Michael and I will joke about this, me more so. Emma Frost being mid-level hardline, having worked with Shaw, as Cyclops saving Grace from going Magneto hardline, which he has
True.
since done.
Yeah.
The one thing that did kind of pull it back, since Wolverine always had a thing for Jean Grey, I never liked the whole idea of like Wolverine, Jean Grey, and Ian Churchill, who is one of my absolute all-time favorite artists, like ever. One of his covers from X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, has become iconic. The one where like Wolvie is grabbed Jean Grey and they're kissing on the cover, black background, very iconic cover, beautifully done. I'm just like, yeah, she doesn't belong with Wolvie. But that whole triangle that was put in there, that was actually, again, as you're talking, Scott, about things being planted in your brain. The reason why Wolverine was so enthralled with Jean Grey is because she reminded him of the girl that found him in the Canadian wilderness after he ran from the Weapon X program, brought him back to some level of humanity, that being Heather Hudson, who was married to James Hudson, who was guardian of Alpha Flight, which is how he was originally with Alpha Flight. And so when he met Jean, he's like, oh, a redhead that's not married. And yeah, went from there.
So that
and he's Hugh Jackman.
And everyone loves Hugh Jackman.
Well,
except for Ryan and Reynolds, from what I understand.
Oh.
No, their online bromance, how they're always like picking on each other and everything.
That's great.
Oh my God, those two are so funny with the banter.
Sorry to go Star Trek on you. Have you guys seen this has been out for a little while, the Brent Spiner song with his feud with LeVar Burton? Pretty funny.
No.
Yeah.
Never heard of that.
It was a couple months ago. I probably more than that because I'm always behind the curve on what's funny and popular. But he
is funny.
He starts. It's just a video about him. He and Brent's or LeVar Burton having kind of a feud, and then he goes into song for a while. It's not all song, but it's pretty hilarious. So Brent Spiner bemoaning being Data and going to conventions and so forth. It's pretty funny. Anyways, so this
Have
is.
you ever? No, sorry. Did you ever see him on Night Court?
Oh yeah, yeah.
He has a a funny side. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I was.
That's where he got his big start.
Yeah. Well, I always think of Brent Spiner's solo project on the internet called Fresh Hell, where it's Brent Spiner playing Brent Spiner out of work.
No. What is it called?
Fresh Hell.
Oh, I gotta go watch this.
Okay. Yeah, he's pretty hilarious. Yeah, the video is as C. Michael says, NSFW. A little. I mean, it's a little bit of language.
It's
Is
a
that like
long time
anything
for me to
like
know what that means.
NKOTB?
I don't know what means.
Wait.
Sorry.
Anyway, Renee had a question about Harley Quinn and Joker.
I was throwing out letters. I was waiting for somebody to catch it.
We have.
Oh my God! It's like Run DMC or what?
We live in the time of abbreviations. You can't just throw letters out like that.
It probably means something.
Okay, so before we get to Renee's question, speaking of romance, for those of you who lived in Orlando and have attended the Full Sail campus,
I've been there.
Yes, there is a sushi bar several blocks down where they have an all-you-eat buffet style sushi thing, which is fantastic. And when I was there, there was a very attractive person serving our table who I'd recognized from campus. So of course, and she was wearing a Run DMC shirt. So so of course my natural course of action, you put your number on the receipt. In addition, I put the chorus to "It's Tricky."
Oh boy!
Did not hear back on that. Not at all.
Get a call?
Nope.
No,
I'll admit to having done the whole phone number on a receipt and never got a call thing more than once. But putting the lyrics, that was inspired.
It was probably a shirt she got at Goodwill. She didn't.
That should have gotten you the call back.
What the hell is he writing on his ticket?
or she's probably like, I don't even know what the hell this is. This is my boyfriend's shirt.
Or she's already with someone, and maybe I made her question it for a good 3 minutes, and she's like, "No, I'm not Scott Summers."
If this was a comic book, Tim, it would be great character development, and she would have had a crisis at that moment. She would have gone home. She would have been tired. Her boyfriend would have been careless. He'd have been playing video games or whatever, and she would have had a moment. She would have looked at that phone number, looked at those lyrics. She would have played the song.
She probably put that receipt in her purse and.
Yep.
She's trying to find it now. Ever since then, she's like, the guy.
Kind of like the movie Serendipity. Where
if that guy would have just came back to the next day, I was going to talk to him, but he never because I didn't call him back, so he never came back and saw me again. And man, Tim.
Tim, you probably wrote your.
I have a feeling now for the next couple of weeks, Tim's going to be going for all you could eat sushi every day.
In Orlando.
She'll fly down to Orlando. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He'll be like, I am past COVID now. I'm going for sushi. Yeah.
That's
you guys are.
I'll swing by there and I'll see if she's still there with a shirt on, and I'll know who it is, and I'll give her your number.
Perfect.
All you can eat sushi. Man, I'm hungry. Okay, so
every time I hear somebody say sushi, talking about romance, every time somebody says the word sushi, I want to start screaming sushi. Anybody get that one?
No,
I don't.
Monster Team.
Oh yes.
Oh wow.
Yes, Mike Wazowski. Yeah, and his girlfriend.
Yep.
Talk about going on the date. She's like sushi.
Yeah. Good one.
So Harley Quinn and Joker. Sorry about that.
So we started about talking about storytelling a little bit. This is good. So on the other end of kind of the spectrum of romance is Harley Quinn and Joker.
But is that really a romance? That's kind of
excellent question.
I never felt like a romance. I definitely appreciate what happened to Harley Quinn after Gail Simone started writing on Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey, where it became very apparent that it was not a good relationship for her, and it became, and we got a movie of it, which is one of the DC movies people actually like, where Harley Quinn essentially has to end a relationship or a romance in order to develop herself into a better character, or get into a better space for herself, and then you get some good character development through that. And I think that take in storytelling is something we don't get too often in comics. Usually it's just either the abrupt ending or it's, hey, someone died 3 years ago, and we're going to go back to them now.
Yeah.
Well, would you say, to kind of relate this to what we've been talking about, that relationship was first showcased in the animated series.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. and it was
Yeah.
abusive then.
Yeah.
I mean, straight right off. But because of the adultness of that of the animated series, that's what made X-Men possible, right? The
Yeah,
animated X-Men. So we didn't even have the Jean Grey, Scott Summers, Logan paradigm that we had when we were kids, as far as the animated series is concerned. If it wasn't for that horrible relationship.
Yeah, but I don't believe they got into the emancipation of Harley Quinn storyline in the animated series. I believe that was much later. Yeah.
No, well,
Yeah.
because she
was-
hooked up with Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
In fact, it was the first episode she showed up in because he fired her. He kicked her out.
Yeah. Because
But kind of.
it was hinted at for a long time. I remember that, but we didn't get the full emancipation storyline until Gail Simone took it over much later.
Going back to the foundation of that relationship, where she was a therapist working with him, it was almost like a self-imposed Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
You know, where she did it upon herself towards him, and she just went mad.
Yeah.
But now she's been dumped for Punchline, I guess, from what I understand. So.
Well, have y'all read White Knight?
No,
not yet. No.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah.
That's just I can't. I don't want to tell you anything about it because because what's his name? Sean Gordon Murphy actually handles the differences on why we have two different types of Harley Quinn, and I don't really want to get into why that is.
Yeah.
Was that also the series where they talked about the 3 different Jokers?
No, that was later on.
Yeah.
Okay.
That just came out. White Knight. There might still be stuff coming out about it because it was big.
I just picked up one because there's I know what you're talking about, but there's 3 different White Knight main arcs essentially.
Yeah.
But I got one of the in one of those Walmart bundles. I got one of the solo issues that came from a later arc in that.
But yeah, he handles it pretty well. No, it's basically about the Joker gets well. Is what the premise of that is, and it was pretty good.
Yeah,
but yeah, if you ever get a chance to read it, I don't want to get into it because you have it, but pick it up. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So
I killed the conversation.
No.
That's it. Yeah.
This is good because we started talking about it being more multifaceted.
Yeah.
And it just follows the evolution of storytelling in comic books, because really we had a lot of just the very often the female being there to get in trouble and the hero to rescue her. Okay. And that was fine 75 years ago. And I mean, Lois Lane, the Fleischer cartoons of Superman, every episode, Lois gets in trouble and dun, 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 Superman comes and punches things and throws things and saves her. Usually because she follows Clark Kent and then goes and tries to get the scoop before he does. And then Superman has to come rescue her. But that evolution, where we even have we've got Harley Quinn and these relationships that, like John was talking about, they holy cow, you're really angry at a character that you kind of love, or you don't want them to make that mistake, like Cyclops did. That makes for really good when you can throw that emotion in there, that Harley Quinn she's finally saying, okay, you are abusive. This is bad for me. That's good storytelling. That's deep storytelling. And I think that's just one more thing about comic books that's so cool, that we can get these characters. But also when they mess them up, like we're talking about with Gwen, that makes us so angry. We're so emotionally invested. And when they don't follow that character's, when they throw it all out the window, that makes us that makes the diehard fans just give it up. And John said it. He said, I was done. Right.
Hey Scott, can I weave a couple things together?
That
we bounced around about. This is perfect. So we got Tim talking about Gail Simone. We've got Scott, you talking about women being in trouble? We're watching Tommy ink masterfully. Things are rocking here. This is awesome. This ties perfectly into the one that I told you guys on break I wanted to talk about. So one of the worst couple scenarios was when Kyle Rayner became the new Green Lantern. He was dating a girl named Alex, and she's in the apartment, and he comes home and he's in his new Green Lantern uniform and can't find Alex, and opens up the refrigerator door, and there is her dead body.
Oh yeah,
shoved in the fridge because the bad guy, Major Force, came looking for him in the apartment. He wasn't there, so he killed his girlfriend. That's kind of like the whole damsel in distress. Damsel's always going to be destroyed. Gail Simone, see Tim, how I'm tying this all together like a great big puzzle. She entitled that one "The Woman in the Refrigerator Syndrome," and that was like a whole thing for a while about how females are portrayed oftentimes, and how it's not justified, and those are not strong characters.
Yeah.
So I totally get that. So that was kind of nice how a couple of those pulled together. If I could just throw out two that I do like, Mockingbird and Hawkeye, I've always thought was a great pairing. They played off of each other well. They had great banter, and there was never the damsel in distress. She had her strengths, he had his. I always loved them as a couple. They were great. And then I didn't really read much on this, but talking about other, having strengths and not weaknesses, and folks who really were equal, Elektra and Daredevil would definitely go into that category as well. I think that would be a good pairing. Yeah.
One thing that Steve Michael brought up, actually talking about what was the thing that got Harley Quinn fired in the animated show, and it's been teased forever and is now finally fully canon, is Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy as a couple. And for me, I think it makes total sense now that they've given it enough time to breathe, because they both come into it with their baggage as time as villains, and both kind of coming in as heroes with looser morals, or heroes at times, but they're both Poison Ivy is of course super powered, and Harley Quinn is super abled, and the current writer has decided to give her back the giant mountain rocket launchers just out of nowhere, which is great. But no one was really a damsel in distress or needs saving. It's just kind of an equal playing field of super people with their trauma having related to past decisions. They're not inherently weaker for anything that isn't a choice they made, essentially.
Right.
Yeah, and so I feel like that's something I'm interested to see play out more.
Yeah, but that's a different universe, though, isn't it?
I'm not sure if it's a different universe or if they've brought it back into, because both universes have been kind of pulling away from multiverse just to make things a little more streamlined. So I think it is in Prime Earth there, or DC's Earth 1, right? Not 616. So yeah, I think they're on Earth 1, whereas in Marvel, everyone's back to 616 or Battleworld. Even the Maker is in 616, which is interesting to have the Council of Reed Richards all existing on the same plane ish.
Let's talk about Reed Richards and freaking Sue Storm.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, boring.
The longest running couple.
Yeah.
Golly.
In Marvel.
Yes.
That's still not empty nesters.
And children go away.
Yeah, that's another side of the spectrum. So like, it's always good to have, like, I keep going back to Cyclops because we've talked about it, but him making really bad decisions, and that's sort of like, oh my gosh. But to have a constant like those two is cool as well, because I mean, it's a constant, but then when they have strife too, that there's more gravity to it as well. When when people are on again, off again, a lot of times you can be kind of like meh. But when those two have strife, there's a lot to it.
Yeah, one of my friends in college called the Fantastic Four the family values of comics.
Yeah.
That it's
Except for in the 90s when
Ugh.
Sue Storm was taken over by Malice and she had that really slutty costume.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
And-
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, this is not how a mother of two dresses.
Some artists in the 90s made some
not
very
Sue
bold
Storm.
choices that
Yeah, and it was the times, and some of the times were great with some things, but the whole like sexified Sue Storm to that level.
there's a lot of characters that got a lot of treatment that were like, did they need that?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That still goes on today, though.
Yeah.
I think, and I've mentioned this before, not on the romance level, but just the characterization is, and I'm going to the movies here, is Black Widow and Captain America. I love the
from Winter
relationship.
Soldier.
Yeah, there's no romance, but they are playful. She is tough, but she's also a woman, and she's kind of joking about putting him on a date, and like,
was that
they're-
your first kiss since 1943?
Right. Yeah. And they're kicking butt, like they're
Yeah.
literally kicking butt next to each other and talking about, him going on a date, which I think
yeah. When he's on the when they're on the airplane and she's like, if you ask so and so from accounting out, she'd probably say yes. He's like, that's why I don't ask, and then like just jumps out and then like, did he forget a parachute? And,
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love it. It's not romance, but it's an awesome male-female relationship, and they can talk about that stuff. I think that's one of the best characterizations for those two. I love it. I love it.
That was my favorite MCU movie, period.
But is that a male and female relationship, or is that a brothers in arms camaraderie?
I'll give you that, but I'm just saying she's kind of putting him on a date. She has that angle, like, you're a guy and there are women out there, and he's an awkward guy.
Yeah.
And I think it's
and she's come with a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
So the very fact that she's able to open up to him, because that's how this whole thing started, because he didn't trust her, and when they had that conversation in the truck, regarding that, and she started opening up, and that's kind of where it started to flourish.
Yeah.
And it's good storytelling, because it would have been easy for the writers to put those two and make them have a romance or something. It would have been easy storytelling.
I think it's and then also we saw that with Black Widow and
Hawkeye.
And Hawkeye too. Hawkeye and also with the Hulk. I think
but that the relationship
I did
with
not
her
like
and
the Hulk thing.
It was a little weird, but it's perfectly normal to have a female character in the story and have the relationships be all platonic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think not everyone needs to be fully romantic involved, and I think if you do that well, you can make for really good storytelling and really good fun relationships like we got in Winter Soldier and with Hawkeye.
And I thought it was so great, since you had brought up about Hawkeye and the Black Widow part, that banter was there. You could tell that they had that connection as well, and there was a connection, and people were probably starting to do the moonlighting. Will they, won't they? Are they gonna get together? And when he took her home to his kids and his wife, and then
Aunt
the kids
Nat.
are all like, Aunt Nat, that like put an end to it right there.
Yeah.
We knew that the love was there, but it was like a familial love. Which was cool, because they could play off of that aspect.
Yeah, I mean
Not
that
everything has to be chicky bob.
Right.
Yeah, not to go back to Wolverine and Jubilee, but if there's one thing I'm good at, it's X-Men. The thing that C. Michael and I have talked about since I posted it on Facebook, the No Adamantium era with Wolverine and Jubilee, and Wolverine is in hiding and isolation this entire time, essentially, because he's.
Is that when he had no nose?
I think that's depending on the artist.
Okay.
But this is back when he was essentially just he was reverting back to Murder Machine. But Jubilee was the one who would go back and visit him because they had developed a very strong kind of protective, either father-daughter or like older sibling relationship. and so
It was one of the few females he was able to keep alive.
exactly, and so Jubilee is like giving him the full story about how she got married and is having a kid and all this stuff, and that was the highlight of Wolverine's time in isolation, and so I think that was also a really cool relationship.
Jubilee had a kid?
Oh, Jubilee was a vampire for one little
Yeah,
bit there.
yeah.
I totally
Jubilee's done a lot of
did not
stuff.
read any of that. Wow, I missed all that.
It happened after House of M.
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be why.
Yeah.
So, could I throw a series out there before? Because I know I'm looking at the clock.
Yeah, we're getting
I'm
that.
sure most people have not heard of this series, and it's going to blow some people's minds. Do any of you remember the Marvel imprint, the Epic imprint?
Sounds
All right,
familiar.
good. We're off to a good start. They put out a 5-issue miniseries, early 2000s, right? Called Trouble. And it was like a romance-based type of thing where you had like these two wild and crazy girls that were going on a trip with like their two boyfriends, and one's 17 years old, and so like you got two pairs, right? Two couples. So the girl, the wild and crazy 17-year-old, the boyfriend from this pair cheats, and so they get together. She gets pregnant, and then the girlfriend of the guy who cheated, because they were all four best friends, and she's like, okay, your mom's gonna freak out about you being pregnant when we go back, because they were away for the summer and they were working and stuff. She's like, okay, we'll pass it off as my baby. I'll take the hit. I'll claim the baby's mine, and my boyfriend and I will raise it as our child. Sounds pretty cool, right? They never gave last names to the characters, okay? But the two couples that went away for a summer trip, there was a couple named Richard and Mary, and there was a couple named May and Ben. And May was the one that had an affair with Richard, and Mary was the one that said, we will take your baby, start a family of our own. Baby was named Peter, and we don't have to tell anybody.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
When's this?
This was a series. It was called
early 2000s.
Early 2000s. Let's see if I can pull up a date. It was written by Mark Miller, art by Terry Dodson. Let me see if I can find you guys. They put out the hardcover in 2011, but this was made originally in the early 2000s.
A chart would have been useful, John, if you had prepped
2003,
Yeah.
2003, 2004. So, yep, it was considered as a possible origin of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And they were trying to bring back romance comics with it too. So it was very much a romancy thing.
All right.
But yeah, so it was the whole idea. It says here, I'm going off Wikipedia now. May, a 17-year-old redhead and somewhat of a wild child. Mary, May's blonde best friend and rather shy. Ben, Richard's older brother, who was often in hospitals as a child. And Richie, Ben's younger brother, and their dad's clear favorite. So you have Aunt May and Uncle Ben, and Pete's parents, Mary and Richard. And he winds up living with Aunt May when you know what happens in Amazing Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
And so it's like Aunt May's really Peter's mom.
Huh.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that better than the Clone Wars.
Saga?
The Clone Saga.
Oh, I like the Clone Saga because Ben Reilly is the one true, real.
Exactly.
real
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's. I mean, that's. Every time someone brings up like best Spider-Man, I'm like, well, we got that in Clone Saga. Like, your answers are right there, clear as mud.
I love the Scarlet Spider costume.
Yeah.
The uniform was beautiful. Never better rendered than when Stephen Butler drew it. And then the Ben Reilly Spider-Man costume that he customized for himself. Loved his costume. That's probably my favorite Spider-Man costume. Brett Booth did a mini series, and he has like a double page spread of that Spider-Man costume swinging, and that is my all-time favorite Ben Reilly Spider-Man.
I gotta say, it's really hard to make like a sleeveless hoodie not cool.
It's very
well,
90s.
I'm wearing the hoodie. Should we see? I'd
Cut
be
the
like,
sleeves off there, John.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, folks, it is 10:57 on the East Coast. That means we got to start wrapping up. We've been talking romance in comics. We've been watching Tommy ink over Pete's pencils there.
Yep. Peter Clinton.
We have delved deep into what makes great romance. We could keep talking. It's good characterization. That's what we've decided. I think we want it to make sense. We don't want the female just to be there to be in trouble, and we want characters to have problems and be real. So
we didn't even get to talk about Betty and Veronica and Jughead and all those guys.
Well,
Riverdale was on tonight. Yeah.
There's a lot we've not talked about. So maybe another night we will continue with not necessarily the romance, but just the what makes. We've talked a lot about what makes good characters, and this is part of it. What makes good characters and their relationships with the people they love, and all that stuff. So we need to wrap up. We need
bring that back to Run DMC.
It's
do like a rap on the way out?
tricky to wrap a rhyme.
Yeah,
Wrap a rhyme.
That's
right on time.
That's right on time. It's tricky.
Oh my God! Now you know what that makes me want to do. Now that you're actually singing it,
I don't know. We probably just got kicked off of YouTube for me singing that little bit.
Don't sing "Happy Birthday." You'll owe somebody some money.
Right.
No, that one
Not
came
anymore.
Out. You can get that one now.
That got overwritten.
No, somebody bought it and
birthday.
released it.
Yep.
Thank the maker.
Yeah, somebody bought it and said,
Wasn't there a Mystery Science Theater invention exchange where they had the royalty-free karaoke machine?
Yeah.
I've never seen that. That sounds hilarious.
Well, hey, you got to catch up on your MST3K from the 90s.
Well, I like MST3K. I've never seen that.
Yeah. So. I'm sure they've got a list of invention exchanges out there somewhere. Okay, folks, we tried our best to stay on track, and we did pretty well tonight. I think we stayed close to the topic. Thank you, Wayne Hall, for your review of Bass Reeves, and folks, viewers, go click on Wayne Hall's comics review. Comics, I'm not sure what does he call it. Wayne Hall Comics. Wayne Hall.
I think it's Wayne Hall's Comics.
Wayne Hall's Comics. Go like, subscribe, and also Daytona Beach Comic Con. Thank you for supporting Silverline, and everybody out there, go like, subscribe, follow them on all of their social media channels. Check out their website and see what news they have for 2021 comic conventions. And then head over to silverlinecomics.com and check out all of our titles. And we have more and more and more and more coming. 2021 is going to be our biggest year yet. And we just keep growing. We have so many great titles coming. We have number 2, 3, 4 of our stories coming out. They
and there's so many books fixing to hit. I don't know what Roland's going to do.
Yeah, lots of good stuff.
Yeah, lots of books are fixing to be.
So go check out our titles, because those are just going to keep growing. So you want to grab number 1, number 2 if you've missed them. And to those of you who have supported our Kickstarter campaigns, thank you. We're going to wrap up. We're going to say goodnight. It is our custom at the end of the show as well to say who we are and what we do and how you can follow us and support us individually. And I will start. I'm, as you can see, my name is Scott Wakefield, and I'm
very steamy.
Romance is in the air. Steam Patriots is coming soon. It's been a slow process, but that's how it goes. Steam Patriots is coming soon from Silverline, and Rory had to bounce, but he is my my co-creator with Steam Patriots. And if you have a show, if you got a podcast, if you do anything with pop culture and comic books or anything loosely related, we'd love to have you on our show. Or if you could have some of our creatives on your show, we will share the wealth and promote each other. And why don't I'll go back to the bottom of the screen. I'm going to go to John and then Tommy and then C. Michael and then Tim. How's that sound? John, say
All
goodnight.
right. Good night, everybody. John Medic, creator of Sniper and Rook, and obviously, as name says, repository of lots of useless knowledge.
Useful. You
Thank you, sir.
Useful.
For validating me.
My goodness, useful knowledge. Tommy, go for it.
Thomas Florimonte, Florimonte. Just look me up. You can find me anywhere and everywhere. Go to infernostudios.com. You can find all the links to some of the stuff that I'm doing. And next week, hopefully I'll get caught up on this on the stuff that you saw me inking today, and I'll be able to work on a little bit of Mr. C. Michael. Maybe he'll tell us what C stands for next week, and I'll do some inks on that. I'm sure that'll make everybody go, "Wow, this is cool. Let's see what's going on." So next week.
Check out Kablam for all your printing needs.
Yeah, if you need to get something printed, come see us.
Actually, I need to talk to you about that later on. I got
you can't. Nope.
and also, Scott, since you mentioned Kablam, where could people buy current Silverline books?
Go to indieplanet.com.
Yes, all of
look up
the last
Silverline
titles are there.
Well, yeah, until because I can't put them up there yet because we don't have them yet to print. So so if you order them, how am I going to ship them out? So we got
they'll be there soon, but all the rest of our Silverline's titles are there. Plus, a world of titles. You could read comic books for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I've been getting a bunch of sales on the Trump book. People are getting up there, going and buying some of the old stuff. Yeah, it's pretty
good
cool.
stuff.
Very
Good stuff.
good.
We have a world of a spectrum. We are what are we genre spanning? We have
Genre
lots
spanning?
of great stuff. So go check out our titles there. See Michael Lanning, go for it, and don't forget to plug your other shows because we're not too exclusive here. Go for it.
All right, I'm C. Michael Lanning. Of course, you can find me on Facebook. I'll probably mess around with Instagram and get back into that. And there is Twitter. I don't like to be on Twitter. It hurts my feelings. It touches me in bad places. But of course, you can catch me at on Friday mornings at 10 Central, 11 Eastern at the Weekended, where we go over mainstream and indie news, comic news, that is. And also, we have a discussion, kind of like a news roundtable of comics on Comic Book Brunch Sunday mornings, also at 10 Central, 11 Eastern.
Hey, man, give me some
Your
brunch. That'd
coffee,
be good.
your tea ready for
Look, when I do these shows,
Tea
I
and
have a
crumpets
pot
in
of
the
coffee
morning.
right here.
A
all
whole
the time.
pot. You got
Yeah.
your Keurig set up right next to your drawing table.
It's
your
my
finger
thing.
sandwiches.
Finger sandwiches? Is that what you do?
No, donuts.
Donut.
I've got 2 cans and a bottle tonight.
Whoa! Is that what you? Is that why you didn't run to the restroom?
That's how he knows what time it is.
Trust me, as soon as we end, yeah.
We need Wayne Hall. Thank you for the restroom break for us on the show. Tim, why don't you wrap it up and then we'll all say goodnight. Go for it.
I am Tim TK. Look up for Wolf Hunter issue 1. Is in color right now.
I think it is.
Soon,
I don't know.
soon.
You hadn't showed us any pictures.
I have
see
pictures.
some art.
What's the?
I've seen
AJ and John
Next
posted
week.
pictures.
Yeah,
on the
AJ
show,
's
yeah, but yeah, I'll put some
yeah,
pictures up
AJ's
here.
been teasing some stuff, I think, on his own pages there.
Yeah,
That's
and
authorized. Is he allowed to do that?
yeah, and I'm also on all the socials at Tim TK Writer, where you can see me post teasers and memes on Facebook, and mostly just crap post on Twitter.
Is there any other?
That's all there is.
Yeah, it's just
redundant.
random nonsense is mostly what I post. I posted something about Big Red the other day, and then another thing about Sunny D.
That started a whole war. It's a Twitter war, Big Red. The drink or the gum? What is it?
And I am on TikTok at Tim Doesn't TikTok, where I talk about books and stuff. And I'm on Twitch at AgroBacon on your screens there, where I stream Destiny content and League of Legends or Magic the Gathering on Sundays, where I'll be live later tonight playing Destiny 2 with the new seasonal content. I do something else probably.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
I'll also be here on the Sunday show, since I am the token single guy. So I'll be available on Wednesday.
You're not doing anything, right?
You got nothing going on.
You don't have a life.
What's Sunday?
So Sunday night,
Sunday.
9
Charlie Rose show.
9 p.m. Eastern, and then all the other times that are corresponding. Silverline is on Sunday as well. They will be talking about romance.
Indeed.
They'll be about 50%.
It won't be as good as ours.
I don't have the same energy now.
No, watch me in the morning and come watch Tim at night.
Yeah,
Exactly.
just spend your
Oh, that's
day
right.
with a Sunday with C. Michael Lanning. Hey, everybody out there, we appreciate you so much for joining our silliness. And if you want to comment posto facto, you are welcome to. We try our best to get back to your comments. If you've got ideas, if you've got suggestions, if you've got comments and questions about comic books and what we've talked about, and dating advice.
I can tell you what not to
John
do.
can tell
from
us.
lots
No.
of experience.
Don't do what.
Do not put the lyrics to "It's Tricky" by Run DMC.
It's tricky on your thing. Yeah,
It will not work.
I thought that was masterful, man.
I
That
thought it
was
would
awesome.
work. I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
It sounds like
yeah.
a perfect
Something's wrong
plan.
with her. Something's wrong.
I'm going to go find her.
Dad shirt.
Hey, folks, we appreciate you out there. We appreciate you joining us. You are part of the Silverline family, and we're gonna say goodnight. So we'll see you next week. And until then, and as always, I'll make mine Silverline.
Make my Silverline.
Good night, folks.